So she will have number 2, and then for the introduction they have this one.
Nobody told me that people got inside. I don't know what to do. There's so many assholes there. Well, actually not that many.
Obviously not always conforming for any friends in sports.
Klein is an artist and composer living and working in London. Her practice produces and consumes matters like urban mapping, surveillance, humor, hip-hop, noise, and identity. These very topics are fractured through her performances, installations, videos, and songs written by her. Her 10-year-old YouTube channel consists of short and long videos, provides us with peek through how she digests media, through moving images and music. Her works has been shown and performed at New Theatre Hollywood in LA, Buchholz Gallery, Sant'Andrea de Scaffis in Rome, Cabinet Gallery, South Bank Center, Barbican Center, ICA in London, and many other yards, squats, and bars such as the Old Blue Last and the New Cross Inn.
So this is a drawing that I did based on the YSL Rico case. Some of the stuff you're gonna see here are drawings.
Yeah, I just think that you have to care about other things outside of the art that you do.
Some mini documentaries within documentaries.
Do you like swimming?
Essentially, it's
do you
just
like foraging? Just anything. Because basically this is
a Netflix special.
I guess a film, an archive of some of the stuff I did, kind of even leading up to, even before I even decided to even think to be an artist, or before I even knew I was an artist, you know? But yeah, just play, have fun, and then I feel like everything else tends to fall into place. Whether or not your friends even like it, you know? Like, do you like what you're making? And does that, like, make you happy every day? Or maybe it doesn't make you happy every day, but it's like, it's something. I don't know. I'm rambling. Bye. Hey guys. I'm Klein, 1 2 1 2. So, I'm an artist, I think. It's funny because I've only just kind of felt comfortable calling myself an artist. I never really liked artists growing up. Because I feel like artists have this idea of how they're supposed to be. I gotta have a website, I need to have a gallery, I need to do, what's my practice? And I didn't really like that. My mum wanted me to be a lawyer, and quite frankly I wanted to be as well, but I was really into like forensic detective based shows. I think that's why I liked X-Files. And you know that thing of like kind of always feeling like there's something more to the eye? Yeah. So I was kind of like a seeker of truth. I had this like these documents on like UFOs and families that had been affected by it, and I just kept it in like a folder underneath my bed in case like the files get classified or whatever. So yeah. There's a few things I've been thinking about, like by Afro. Monique's open letter to Tyler Perry. Me learning to trust myself
by improving my handwriting.
I think Hollywood only gives black people 5
It has
years
been
max.
the joy of my life.
I believe Jim Ike should do a play. He's an actor. A lot of baddies like him. He predominantly does, only does like Nigerian films. I also believe that Isaiah Zola King should have just played herself in the Zola movie. I feel like the main character was like really watered down for like the mass public. I wanted to be an archaeologist. But then my sister was like, fuck that. That's the job of a white man. And you know what? A friend of mine actually agreed when we were on the bus. I said it to her and she was like, Why? So, yeah. GCSEs, I barely scrapped them. I got like 2, I think, 3. So then my auntie sent me and my cousin to this like training camp in Devon. It's like this camp where they just like take like unstable teens to regroup, think, and kind of you do some vocational skills like baton twirling and badminton and Morse code. I call it the greatest saga. How do you write about the losing side when the winners write the story? I am thinking of finally making this movie called Life of a Lighter. Oh, Life of the Lighter. It's like it's like a film where you kind of put a camera here and you just kind of see what happens to this lighter. Because I feel like lighters, they experience a lot in life. And I think it'd be cool to see like a film like through the lighter's eyes. Yeah. So I went missing and I started a new life. I tried to create a manifesto, but my friends called the cops. Know who I am. Funky house mix. How do you write about the winning side when the loser side? What was it? I can't remember the saying again. That's it. How do you write about the losing side when the winners write the story? And that brings me back to Doneo. I feel like his impact wasn't documented. Now I'm hearing fucking beep 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 playing his instrumentals and being paid like 10k to go to beep festivals, and no one even knows that was even Doneo. AfricanWarrior.mp3.co.uk. Stay scheming _ Rick Ross /SBTV.m48. Shook. People who dance in circles. People who know and people who don't. Yeah. NBA. Never broke again. Clint water. Clean water for Clint. For Congo. Palestine. I feel like people should say Black Power and actually mean it. Like a public announcement isn't enough when they're already dead. Apparently Pastor Toby is getting deported. Miriam said she wasn't involved, but they were doing fraud. Flashbacks. Double life. I've decided to stop blocking folks for sending me bad fonts because it's like, what's even a bad font? I think people have to care like more about edges, spaces, and just intention on something. Know who I am.
Is he basic?
No, he has nice eyes, and wait for this, he's in a band. He's in a band, and like he's signed to this label.
Who would you give 4 hours of volunteer work to see in concert? This summer, Orange Rock Corps is coming to London's Royal Albert Hall with the biggest, hottest concert of the year. There's just one catch. You can't buy a ticket. You can't win a ticket. You've got to earn your ticket. Give 4 hours volunteering with Orange Rock Corps. Get given 1 ticket to the concert you don't want to miss. Go to orangerockcorps.co.uk to register. Give. Get given.
As you can see, we're doing a lot of gardening work. We're cutting back, and we're going to lay down some weed membranes, we're going to make some nice pathways out of wood chip. We're also redoing the train station down at the far end. So if you come to West Dulwich, the train station's all nicely done, and it was us, our 4 hours. My favourite part is definitely the projects. I mean, like, you come out and meet all these lovely people who are giving their time, and I feel like I give a double whammy of love, you know? I give them some good volunteer work, so I had a good feeling, and I give them a great ticket to a great gig at the end. When you come together, you get to the gig, and you see all the people that you work with, so you got this kind of like camaraderie that you wouldn't have like when you go to a normal gig, and you're all there, you all know you worked your heart out for that ticket, so it's really cool. 4 hours, absolutely amazing bit of work, and you can feel so proud of it afterwards, especially like because I live near all this kind of area, so I walk past them all the time and think, yeah, I did that.
yourself today? Alright, cool. What's your name?
light doesn't flash for your face. Your 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 light doesn't flash for your face.
My name is TJ, Tommy Jr. Instagram is TJ's Turn, cameraman.
My name is Kiaja and my Instagram, getabag.k. And my name is Klein. You know what it is? You know what it is? And what's your name?
My name is Baby K.
So you had me shook, because I wanted to dance and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Okay, what do you want? It's gonna be hard to get the music.
No, so they can just bring it. We filming on the UK account. Here you go. Thank you. I film you, you film me. So you guys are amazing there. So I literally was like saying to Tommy, I was shooting the film and I was like really wanted you guys to be in it. So pay a little homage to y'all. And yeah, so thank you so much. It's like honestly, thank the Lord. You know, spread the word. world to everyone in the UK. You know what it is? Yeah, so amazing. I did it. I was laughing because I was doing it, but I looked like a freakazoid. I was like, but then it looked like an African map. I was like,
You trying to copy a picture or something? Oh, okay.
but I really want to I have a lot of friends that are from this area, and I've been here before a few times. So I definitely want to come to the shows as well. More of them as well. Because it's honest. Because you know what it is? We all see it through TV and the internet or whatever. So it's nice to see it in person. Yeah, be here. We don't know. So I think when we're gonna do some stuff here, but these are gonna be a bit more shot. We've got a few of shot lists, some shot lists to get as well. Alright. But yeah, we're gonna go over there. But I guess see you guys in a bit. Alright.
Nasty animal, that hard dance bars gets terrible. Blah blah blah, cause I keep it lyrical. I sound hard, I always want to get physical. In the grind scene, there's a war going on. But since they my side Murkish, that is fully on 16 blocks in the head of the zone. When it's time, you better watch your space, cause I'm up and coming and I want your place. They ain't your stuff. Made it great cause I came in the game just to up your game. Cause I'm big in the game, but you need more game. What you call it, flush down the drain. Backflips up the streets in the place, when jacks in the place, stakes get raised. It's live. Nasty Jack is storming in the place. Nasty Jack is storming in the place. Nasty Jack is storming in the place. We're gonna enter the way. Money coolly, then you pay. When I walk for the dance, people stop and glance. Put me their glass and then try and ask, how did you get them scars? I say no and keep walking past. On the way to the stage, the girl grabs my arms and she asked what people the arm. I didn't come down there to get no arm. Don't wanna get no from my dance. Making my way to the stage, you know what happens when I get on the stage and save my rage. Over the stage, when me and the mic first engage. Shoot yours, that's a reload man. And when you don't know, that's another one way. And the room now with the jaw DJ, and everyone's pissing, I'm still getting paid. It's live. It's Nasty Jack is storming in the place. It's Nasty Jack is storming in the place. It's Nasty Jack is storming in the place. We're gonna enter the room, money quickly, then get paid. It's live. It's Nasty Jack is storming in the place. It's Nasty Jack is storming in the place. It's Nasty Jack is storming in the place. We're gonna enter the ring, money quickly, then get paid. Nasty Jack storming. Are you mad, blood? People coming away, think you can murk it right and have some big armed asses. Look that. Go home. Like when they said this will go home. Not playing with fun to let's go home. When you go home, enjoy your rap hard. If you can't rap hard, then let's go home. Like when they said this will go home. Not playing with fun to let's go home. When you go home, enjoy your rap hard. If you can't rap hard, better than sleep.
Alright, I'm ready. You need to get in and stop videos. I dream Someone owns like a
Maserati. Yo. Niggas all buying the motorbike. Let me shout out to Auntie Sharon. Let me shout out to Auntie Jessica.
You need to get in
Every person you know in all
Someone owns like a Maserati. Niggas all buying the motorbike.
Let me shout out to Auntie Sharon. Let me shout out Auntie Jessica. Let me shout out Auntie Paulette and Pauline. Auntie Paulette and Pauline. Lean. Paul is lean. Auntie Pauline, lean. Shout out Auntie Claudette. Shout out Auntie Paulette. Shout out Auntie Claire. Shout out my mom's hair.
Oh my God.
Dreadlock Rasta. She's not a pasta. And she cooks too much pasta. But I love her. Sometimes I should whisper. Usain Bolt coming off the line.
Okay, running marathon. Running to the corner shop.
Your artist profile.
Wine bottles and cans of black.
Yeah.
And I want to be the Johnny Bag.
And
Weed.
Ronnie White Sweets.
Are you recording?
I'm recording.
We're recording at the same time.
This is so cool. This is so life-changing.
I'm finding Vine strange now. I'm not enjoying mine.
Why?
Alright, let me take over your Vine. Okay, I'm going to take over your Vine. And do the best Vine.
Now I'm recording.
Alright.
Because of mine.
It doesn't even make sense.
I don't know what's going on right now.
I'm confused.
I feel like
Thought I'd take a little ride in my new Jan.
Oh, you could do cool stuff.
Thought I'd go whip around.
I can't even use Vine. I hate Vine.
And Johnny's back from places that we
that background.
that looks so cool. We run through the same shit.
Fuck that shit.
I hate it.
You hate Vine.
I hate Vine.
You know I hate Vine too. I don't mean that Vine. I'm sorry. I love it. Lisa.
Blog post one.
Yeah.
From Diana Rocha. Or just Diana.
Say no and I say
They're being mean. Everyone's ganging up on me. All of them. They're all saying that it's all about Vine or digital camera. But I say it's about Instagram. The new Instagram. Take your own videos and share them with your friends.
Emma, what do you think about bagels?
Bagels.
I cut it up, then I put it in
Something in between the two halves.
well.
Emma did samurai.
That's so
Who smoked his ashes?
You guys are probably wondering why Ed Sheeran is there. Well, here's the story.
So mum was never home, so I would always watch these like grime videos and Channel AK. And there was always castings. So me and my friends, we would go to them because they had food and drinks. So even if we weren't getting paid, we got to meet new friends. At this other video shoot, me and River, that's where we met Mikael Payne. I'm not gonna lie, he was pretty sick and he rode a fixed gear bike. And I had this blog with some of my friends and a bunch of other teenagers.
and I only wrote about fixed gear bikes, amongst other things. So I thought he would make a good friend. So I would follow him around and around. Eventually, I met one of his good friends, and that was Ed Sheeran. He had a loop pedal and a dream. I always found it weird that he did this patois accent for crescendo, and he didn't have a place to stay. He asked once, but Mum wasn't gonna have that. So he crashed at others, place to place, and I just didn't really see him again. As a kid, I always thought, how come you ain't got a place to stay, but you got all these pedals?
Is what?
Swearing and
Yeah, too much swearing. Actually, yeah, there's a lot of swearing actually.
I just got all y'all's pictures taped up on my wall. So I'm looking at y'all every day. But I know I'm far away. But you can't stop me from asking if you got what you need. Even if I can't give it to you, how can I stop asking? What kind of job you looking for?
Right. I don't know.
Maybe you waiting for the job to come look.
She says she wants some Marvin.
Thank you so much. Maybe we turn this off. This is kind of distracting. And maybe I think it will get light enough, and maybe we can turn off the projector. Thank you. Can I get it? Thank you. Thank you so much. Ooh, oh wow.
Oh my God.
That's intense. Maybe it's okay. I actually wanted to start off with a question, because what I found really interesting is how you sort of resisted this temptation to put everything about your life and your practice into sort of this narration or this arc. And so I was kind of wondering about your process of instead maybe deciding to go back into like your personal archive and the way of like compiling all these influences, and also the kind of the path and the projects that you've done in the past, without kind of enfolding that into this like straightforward narration?
Yeah, it's a big question.
Or maybe just talk a little bit about like how it went, you know, when you sat down to think about this lecture. Yeah.
When you guys asked me to do the lecture, I was kind of like, I don't know what to lecture about, and then in my head I was like, I'm not an artist, so I don't need to really make anything. And then actually, through being asked to do this, I started to think about the things I did literally when I was like a kid that actually all tied back to things I was doing now. So I think in one of the clips you guys saw, there was like the Orange Rock Corps thing where the kids were like digging to win tickets to see Puff Daddy. I did that. That was the exact one I did, and I actually I just like went through my Google Drives, went through my YouTube channel, and just actually found, literally using the internet to find things I did as a kid that in my head felt like nothing, but was actually something. And like actually before I thought I was an artist, I already was. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I already had like interest in things that were like, I just had interest in things, like, because I think people forget about like that art is, yeah, of course it's painting, but it's like journalism, this, and that there's so many other things that art is. So then I literally started going through my old like CV from when I was like 17 or 16, 15, and there was like a show that I worked on as a youth consultant, but there was literally just like ads everywhere for kids to like enter to be a youth consultant, and they would pay us 50 quid a day, and I was like, yeah, I don't think people should be bullied. So I want to join this show. Like, and it was literally just a show about like kids picking other kids to pick a campaign to like kind of Channel 4 can kind of push. And I just did that with like my family friend, and I didn't really think much of it. And it wasn't until like a year and a half ago, the guy who I interned for was like, oh, the show got an Emmy. And I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. But at the time I didn't. So I was just kind of going through things that maybe felt minute at the time that I was doing that maybe wasn't connected to art, that actually have kind of now informed a lot of the things that I do. And a lot of that was just actually just like making new friends and just like, you know, I was into like skateboarding and bike riding and fixed gear bikes. So anything surrounded by that, I would just kind of follow that. And then maybe a few years later, the fixed gear rider would be this person or this person. But the core of it was like, there were strong things I was interested in that wasn't just like what my teachers were telling me to do. Like kind of in the beginning, I even had my GCSE grades. It was like, yeah, it was like pretty bad, but in hindsight, like kind of looking back, it was like art I failed, music I failed, but weirdly enough, history I did well in, and English, which is funny because I like writing, I am interested in history, so it makes sense that's kind of filtered into kind of the work I do. So I think in my head, it was just like kind of putting together, in my head I see it as like a film, and also like an audition tape for Netflix. But I also see it like kind of like my own kind of portfolio of just kind of retracing steps of like, I guess, realizing that like in the cliche form, like anything is art, do you know what I mean? And like, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Right, do we have questions from you guys?
Does anyone have any questions? Any questions about things you saw in the video that you want to ask?
I think I saw Dr. Omar Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a sculpture piece I did for like a residency, and it was just kind of, it was this shield, and I was just thinking of the shield of cancel culture, and I just started thinking about like kind of Dr. Umar, of like, even though he has like these like great ideas, it's still like super guarded and super like restricted, and yeah, that's why I put in that sculpture piece I did.
I also saw a conversation that you had with Fred Moten. Fred Moten.
Fred Moten.
Yeah, I was curious to know more about that conversation.
Okay, so that's a clip from my feature film that I did in 2021, where it was about like a girl who, her sister goes missing, but she's like, she lives in a care home, like a foster care home, and Fred Moten played my elusive dad. So that's why he's like in this like fancy place, and I'm like this, but he was like kind of like, he kind of played like my dad, who actually for years I actually hadn't seen, and like kind of year after year I was kind of like in different homes, but he wasn't really showing up as a dad, but he was like this incredible like lecturer and incredible theorist. So I wanted to play on that also. So even in the film he talks about like some stuff is scripted and some stuff is like real stuff about his own like family life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nina, you had a question, right?
Yeah. Hey, I was curious about the lighter film that you want to make? How long is that film, and then also where do you want it to exist?
Interesting. You know what? So it wasn't just me that came up with this idea. So I went to Portugal to shoot a video for my friend Mike with my friend Cynthia, and L Sweatshirt's DJ was there, and he was like, yo, this lighter, man, the life of the lighter. And I was like, we should make a film. He was like, yeah, you should. And I was kind of like, in my head, I felt like the film should be international, but then I started thinking about like budgeting wise. I think it would just be set in London. And I thought it would be cool because I think I kept on losing lighters, and I just kept on thinking, damn, like, you know when you lose a lighter and then you see it like, in the kitchen, and then you see it like with your friend, or you see it like underneath the bed, and you're like, oh my God, like imagine what the life would be like through this lighter. And so I was like, wow, it'd be a good film. And I think in my head it's a feature film.
For where? For Netflix or for
Tubi? Yeah, Tubi.
So I'm wondering, like the screen over here, like on the chair, is it live here or?
Oh, it was.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
No, it was like.
I was wondering because there's a thing like where we can see the audience as well.
Yeah. So I was just filming just because I've got ADHD, so I was like, I need to do something, so I don't feel nervous. So I was just like, I just thought it'd be cool having like a ghost lecturer whilst I'm just chilling at the back. So then I like to play with the idea of like kind of who is like kind of the, you know, when people are like the audience or the performer, like who is the audience? Like, you know, to someone else, I'm the audience because I'm new here, and like to see you guys, I'm the, you know, performer. So it's like, yeah.
I was just interesting. So like that's a footage you did before, like.
Oh no, I was doing it live.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I was just doing it live now.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So in the video, there is this. I think you're typing the like score and lyrics of Black Tims. And there is like police video, and I feel like the lyrics like add exclusive, and then there is like piano, like something like this. And is it actually how you compose, like how you?
No. I think it's not. That was done. That video was actually a lyric video for a track I did, and I uploaded on Dailymotion because it was this track I made called DJ Drop, and I did these like crazy like piano stuff, and I was like, oh God, it feels like a ghost. But then I wanted to make a lyric video, like a traditional lyric video, but then all that was happening in the neighborhood I was in was like everyone being chased by police dogs, but then everyone had like their own different vibe, and I was like, oh shit, this feels like a score. And then when I was editing this video, I kind of pieced it together. Yeah.
How do you mean it feels like a school?
A score.
A score. Okay.
Yeah, no, a score.
All right.
Yeah,
please.
Thank you so much for your presentation. You raised a question in your presentation which I thought was interesting but also very important. And then I'm just curious to know what your, whether it's tied to a life circumstance, and then if you found an answer to it yet. And then the question was, how do you write about the losing side when the winner writes the story?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it. I think because growing up, I didn't really have references for stuff. Like, it wasn't until like recently I've started to go to like archive
galleries, or like not galleries, like archives, like these libraries, like, and like seeing like, oh shit, like people made some of the stuff I'm making in the 1930s in Nigeria. But literally, I would have known about it because who's writing? Like, who is kind of like writing about stuff that's actually happening in media? And that's why I mentioned this like guy called Doneo, who was like a funky house musician when he was like 21. But the truth is, like, there's a lot of like big DJs that literally get paid to DJ his instrumental, but you wouldn't know because when Doneo was around, there was just no documentation because the people that had an even start were able to write about what was going on. Do you know what I mean? And I think actually it's kind of cool with like social media now because you can just post online. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait through things to like make it to The Guardian or make it to like Pitchfork. But that was something I was just kind of thinking about. But I was mainly just thinking about the idea of like funky house as a genre and like what happened when there was no one writing about it. And then like 8 years later, like a random kid on Reddit just DJs the instrumentals and then he gets big of playing the instrumentals. And then there's other guys on like GoFundMe. So I just started thinking a lot about that as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Then no more questions. I would say we go outside in the garden, get some dinner.
If there's anything that you don't understand in the video or you have a question about, also, this is the only time.
Yeah, or they sit with you at dinner, maybe, if you'll allow it.
No, I'm not talking. No speech about.
Nope. But I also want to say we're really excited for Klein's concert tomorrow night. So we're looking forward to that. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.